Right, true.
Yeah, so I was saying that people who are entrepreneurial in nature, who could manage project by itself, you can manage the finances, the sales, all those kind of things, the product. It's very valuable as in like even the big companies want you because they want people who could handle things.
Mm. But I think that depends on the nature. I guess like I don't know, like I think Google has acquired a lot of companies. Like one of
Just
the
massive. A
yeah
lot of trivial things like Google Calendar, Google Sheet, they are all not developed in-house. They are all acquired.
yeah,
Yeah. Google Map is also previously a startup.
I
Yeah.
see. I see. I didn't know about that. Well,
Basically only search engine. Yeah, at the
mm,
beginning.
yeah. I mean,
So
I
I
guess
always
they
think that trying to be entrepreneur is great because even if you fail, you will make a really great employee, I guess.
but I always feel like, the idea is like, what do you want to make? That's the thing. It's like don't have much inspiration.
Maybe, yeah, definitely. I also do that.
Like you probably have like seen something like and then things that okay, this is something that I can do. I could make this work.
No, but I suspect one crucial skill is the skill of being able to build a very simple version one and quickly go out and get users. I think that's a very underrated skill
Mm,
because people either are too much planning or too much action because you need both. You need a bit of plan. You need to quickly act, and upon
mm,
action, you get some feedback. You have to refine the idea. So that cycle itself probably is quite
yeah,
important.
yeah, that's right.
So people
Ah,
are always
mm,
either too much planning, they want to plan perfectly, or they actually when they sell something, they just don't know how to refine it later.
right, right, right. I'm throwing in the planning camp, like too much planning camp.
uh,
Yeah.
no, definitely, I'm a huge fan of Peter Thiel. Like all the while, so ingrained in me. His question, the first page of Zero to One, right? I always think that Zero to One, the book, right? His very first sentence, right? He already finished the
Mm,
book. The rest is
mm,
just footnote.
yeah.
And do you remember the very first sentence?
No. What I say? Competition for the loser.
What important truths do very few people agree with you?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that first sentence in Zero to One, I feel that is basically the entire message of Zero to
I see.
One.
Have
So
you
the idea, of
found
course, is
have you found any?
uh, uh, I have actually directly fully from idea, definitely not. But actually, I have a lot of hypotheses that is so
Mm,
scary and so speculative. I'm not even sure people would like to hear. First of all, it's definitely I feel that you can't do anything in Malaysia. We don't leave this
mhm.
country. We don't leave this country. I tried saying something like that in 42. No one agreed with me.
Mm,
Uh, and secondly, I feel that education bubble is going on.
mm.
Uh,
So that's one of it, right?
yeah, yeah. And
Mm,
and thirdly, I have other very speculative idea. Like for example, I think all the Chinese should leave Malaysia. Maybe could be done in 50 years or 100 years time. uh, and other more practical thing is definitely I think that KL should be made cycling friendly. We should
I
have
think
a high speed.
that's for sure. That's for sure.
What?
That's for sure. Then the city has to be made more like less car, less traffic. It's just like um
Yeah,
horrible.
KL should be made cycling friendly, and there should be a high speed rail from Penang to Singapore.
Yeah. I mean like yeah, that definitely as well. Like that really changed a lot of things, I guess. And At least in European country, that's not a strange idea. Like having railway and cycling friendly city, walkable city. That's not even a strange idea. That's like common, like that's norms in those countries. Like
No, even in Piscine, right, I try to tell some people, okay, maybe computer science has already ended the golden age. We should work on solar panel or nuclear energy so that, for example, we could have a electricity bill that's very cheap. People just ignore me because all these ideas are very speculative, you know.
I I I think that's ambition, not not not. I mean, at least for me, that's ambition. That for me is one of the ambition to find innovative way
No,
to do
it's
it.
very frightening. Definitely, you don't know where to start. But we must be very mindful that at the end of the day, right? First of all, we have so many humans on Earth. We have 7.8 billion people.
Mm.
And I always have this idea, right? Like, for example, let's say 1 million people, each of us write one line of code, right? Then we have 1 million lines of code. so,
Why like
so
why would that work?
of course, there are a lot of problems. The code wouldn't synchronize this kind of thing, right?
But the thing is, writing code is not about the number of people that would like I mean it doesn't take a lot of I don't know how to say to write code. It's not by having a lot of people writing it, but to have maybe a few brilliant
No, but
minds to do it.
the really terrifying things I found is that, for example, the operating system of Linux is few million lines of code. Like
Mm.
how could a few people? I mean, we could, but it would take forever to write.
But you have to have those people who can write. I mean, how to say? Firstly, you have to make a system that is like modular, that you could separate things, and people could try to like fix that, or maybe find a more efficient way to write a code or improve the codes. Like that has to be in place so that you could have people improving the codes base.
Hmm. I actually agree because so Linux is a product of open source.
Yeah,
Even something as not simple, even something like Waze or Google search engine, it's just surely few million lines of code. And I always visualize, right, because it's something not tangible, we can't see it. But in practice, Waze and Google search are actually skyscrapers. It's equivalent to a KLCC tower.
yeah, definitely, that's for sure. They are
Yeah,
gigantic for sure.
so it takes so many people to build it.
Yeah, exactly. That's for sure. That it takes so much expertise, like specialists to do a very specific part of it. That's for sure.
Okay, you're right. So that's why I say, right, that this is an old Chinese proverb, 人多好办事. When you have lots of people, everyone just need to work a little bit, and you have a huge edifice, you have a huge skyscraper. I mean, in theory.
Yeah, I think I would like to refine it a bit. Like it takes the right people to do it, not like simply. I think Asing could just like put it in their code and then it works. Like just that's not gonna
Okay,
work.
that sounds a bit scary for me because you're indirectly saying that okay, we have 7.8 billion people on Earth. Majority
Yeah,
of them can't do anything. Only a small portion are smart enough to do good things.
I mean at least I guess for this kind of software, yes, that's true. Like it takes just very small
No.
numbers of people who do that.
I'm talking about any kind of big projects, be it building a search engine, building an operating system, be it building a high-speed rail, a nuclear reactor. All these are very large projects. So
Yeah,
it always seems very daunting for individuals, but again, we have so many people.
yeah.
Theoretically, enough humans, we should make it happen.
Um, I mean, I probably will further argue. There are probably another ingredient also, like not just the sheer number, but the organization. That
Yeah.
that is needed. Like, you need to have a system So we do have a system. We have the, our economy, our, like, I don't know, capitalism or something like that, to be in place to allow that to happen. The financial system, the laws,
That is
political
perhaps
system.
how, that is perhaps how
Yeah.
Google builds search engine.
Yeah, and the corporation. I mean, this thing has to be in place in order to make it work. People could trust, like, the pilot to fly the plane, without crashing it. Like, there are so much things that just,
So it's
you know,
right people at the right place.
yeah. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, we might think about our achievements, like, industrial revolution, but also the how to say, the corporation is another significant contribution as well to the, to the human civilization. At least from Sapien, you already say that, whatever system we have, the corporation, the country, is a fiction, and the fiction that it is the fiction that
Yeah.
organizes the people.
Actually, I recently realized why did you mention storytelling so much? Because recently I found that Sapiens mentioned a lot about like all this storytelling thing.
Yeah, it's an abstract reality. It's like what you say, the shared reality that is it what? Oh, it's not. Maybe some other guys say that. Yeah, it's a shared reality that only exists in humans' mind, that doesn't exist in animals. Like, animals tend to see objective reality, but we have this shared reality that is not tangible. The country, the money, the maybe including religion as well. Like,
But our airplanes and all those things are tangible, right?
yeah, but then the organization is not, like, the company is not tangible. Like, which part can you point out, like, that's the company? Like, if you burn the, I say, Google, like, does Google still exist, or does it exist in a, I don't know, like, business certificate or something like that?
It has a physical
What?
form, which is the headquarter, but other than that, it's no.
Yeah, I mean, let's say you destroy the building and you build it somewhere else. Like, that is still a Google, but how to say, it's not really the physical thing that defines what is Google.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
But
that's also another things that really,
yeah, but
contribute to the.
why did I say all these things? Because just now I was mentioning about the first one of 0 to 1. What important truth nobody agree with you? There I mentioned things like nuclear reactor, high-speed rail, making chaos cycling friendly. So all these things, right, is very speculative ideas. But again, we have lots of humans. We have so many. Like for one person, it's always difficult to do. For a lot of people, it's always easy to do. And I actually feel that people have this enormous bias against collaboration. Like all the people I meet in 42, right? Some of them have want to be entrepreneurs, something like that, but they always have this model. It's like the model of WhatsApp. This odd model of WhatsApp. 3 guys in an apartment, write something, push something, it becomes a mega success. You have very little need to deal with other humans. They always have this model in their mind. Because this model is very crispy, very simple. It's very seductive. 3 guys in an apartment, just do your own thing, then you can be done. But I think there's an outlier. It's very rare.
But does it fit in the picture of, like, say, I don't know, like a contrarian idea? Because why it takes 3 guys? Because there are not many people probably believe in the idea, I guess. I don't know. Or maybe just
Okay,
like,
I think your question is very smart. It was a contrary idea in 2009, maybe, because maybe before that people believe that, okay, you want to be $1 billion company, you need 1 million people. Then WhatsApp defy it. For example, they have a new model, and then after this model become very popular, now it's not contrary anymore because everyone wants to copy.
yeah, definitely. But you were saying like 3 guys like working together, like a small group of people. Like I
Mm.
think they just couldn't afford to have big group because nobody is investing except themselves. Like they gave a thought of that.
Yeah, but how come that kind of small model could succeed?
I mean, the alternative is like just to work for companies.
The what?
The
Oh,
alternative is to
oh,
work for corporation, isn't it? Or could be
uh,
other alternative.
oh, wait. I reiterate. My point is that
Mm,
all the people now, right? They are trying to re-emulate the WhatsApp model. They are very averse towards the model of assembling a large team of people, build a nuclear reactor, those kind of things, because they want something very simple. 3 guys in an apartment, push a product. You don't have to deal with difficult reality. You don't have to deal with government. You don't have to interview and recruit a lot of employees.
let's see. Like okay, let's say what's your idea in making big, like I mean ambitious project?
No, it's okay. First of all, right? Okay, uh, try to summarize, but it's always very abstract when you try to summarize
Mm,
things. First of all, you
mm,
definitely need a team of very hardcore engineers, maybe about 5 to 10 of them that have a
mm,
lot of experience. But the problem
mm,
is to attract them, you need to have good funding.
mm,
The people are not going to work for you for free. So
exactly.
you are now going to raise fund. Okay, now you
Yeah.
go to raise fund. You have a number of avenue.
Mm,
Uh, you could start very modular and small. For example, you want
mm,
to start by building a prototype nuclear reactor. It's not going
yeah.
to work because the actual new nuclear reactor you need to have an actual factory and you have to have the raw material, the uranium ore. It's not
Mm,
going to happen. But a prototype at least shows that maybe the prototype is not even real prototype. It's a computer simulation. Okay, so uh, you need to have that kind of prototype to convince investors. Okay,
mm,
so the entire thing is super intertwining. Okay, first you need people to build computer simulation. Before that, you need those people. You need to have funding to convince them that to build for you. And the computer simulation probably needs some software. And at the same time, in order to get a funding, you have to have a prototype to convince the investor to fund you. Okay,
mm.
so the entire thing is a bit chicken or egg. And actually, we can borrow the metaphor from C compiler. I'm definitely sure that you know how the first C compiler was created. It was by
No.
bootstrapping. Bootstrapping.
Uh-huh.
Have you,
This
have you, have you, have you heard of the word bootstrapping?
yes, I heard. I mean, like
Okay,
okay, I need to check because I don't use this word often, but I've checked the meaning before.
but
Process of using only existing resource, saving personal computing equipment, garage, starting
okay, let's
code
see
base.
what the hell is bootstrap. Bootstrap is literally the boot. The
Yeah,
boot for beware. Okay, so
yeah.
strap means the strap on the side of the boot. You're trying to lift yourself upright by imagine you wear a pair of boots, and then you use your
Mm,
hand to lift the strap beside the boot so that you can lift your entire person up, which is doesn't work at all in physics. You can't lift yourself up. The gravity doesn't work. Uh, but
oh,
the first C compiler, right, face this problem because first compiler you always have this problem like, okay, you you write some C code. You have no compiler to compile the C code into assembly.
uh-huh.
You don't have compiler to compile the C code to assembly, but at the same time, you need those kind of C code to be compiled so that you would have the first compiler. So it's a very chicken and egg thing. So they try to
Uh-huh.
start with a very small subset, small thing. So that's why the answer to how the first C compiler was created uh, is that the first C compiler was written in C. So there's okay. Let's say C compiler has 100 ingredients. They start by first writing the first element of C compiler manually using assembly, so that you have a first 1% working C compiler. Now the second percent, you can use the
Use that
1%
1%.
compiler to compile a little bit of it. So that you keep doing that until you reach 100%. It's a very long, painful process, I believe. So likewise, right? I believe anyone want to start any venture. It's not even business or entrepreneur. Even political campaign, NGO is the same. You always run out of this problem. Like you want to convince people of an idea. People will only be convinced when they see the reality. However, you can't build a reality when people are not convinced. So you always have this chicken and egg problem. You can only start by 1%. So you probably want to convince a very small investor to give you first 10,000. Okay, because very rich people, they have lots of money. 10,000 for them is a little small thing.
Yeah,
you get the first 10,000 so that you could maybe use that 10,000 to build a simulation yourself, or you recruit one person using that money. So now you have a working simulation. Now you have something. Okay, now you can use a simulation to convince a bigger investor. Then the biggest investor give you more money. You can now recruit 5 more people, and you can now build a bigger prototype. So this process is very similar to the bootstrapping process.
I see.
Okay, I think generally I also don't know why, because one of the things I regret the most is I did not take an engineering degree. I don't understand why engineering graduates, because for me engineers are literally magicians. They are literally people who can have a black box, turn a pile of useless material into something useful product at the end. So for me, engineers are the most productive people on earth. They are the magicians who could use their hands to make something very useless, a pile of rock, to become very productive, to become something very productive. So
I doubt that.
Okay, why?
I mean, I do have some engineering friends who are not that brilliant.
Yeah, I don't understand what the fuck are they doing. Because I also saw my engineering friend, they are just going to factory to press software, do nothing.
Yeah, I mean, there's so little things we could do. It's like,
No, because why I want to say this is because real engineering is we talk a lot about computer science, is this wonderful thing. Software is this wonderful thing. You write codes so that computers, robots, machines that could do things for us, right? We write codes for that, right?
But so for example, let's say you're comparing to your engineer friend, right? I feel like to be at that level, right, is not that far, I guess. Like it probably take us like 2 years of study to get to that level.
To be what level?
I mean, if you, I guess the level of knowledge of your friend, like engineering friend, I guess it's not too far fetched. It's not far fetched.
For me, some of them, right, are just like memorizing for exam, because some of them told
me. So I think we can easily catch up, like just to be at the same level as them.
Yeah.
But when we are the same level as them, we also feel we have so much limitations. Like I don't know about this.
You don't know what to do. You don't know what to do, right?
Yeah, and you have so little, I don't know, knowledge or imagination to do even anything.
Okay, just now I was saying that okay, we are from this we are probably people are more on computer science side, so we talk a lot about software. For me, software is a huge hack that humans came up with, because I imagine 100 years ago, if you interview people, okay, if you could have a genie lamp, you could have 3 wishes. What could you wish? I imagine people will wish something like, well, I would have a way faster car. I would have a amazing drug. After eating it, I will be able to be immortal. I would have a machine that could churn out unlimited food for me. So I could imagine 100 years ago, people will answer give all these kind of answers, because they are thinking in terms of real stuffs. Because at the end of the day, what we want is real stuffs. But however, I feel that humans realize that to build real things in real world is very hard. So they kind of hack it. Okay, now I can't give you a faster car because initially you want faster cars for what? So that you can travel faster from one place to another. For example, you want to go to a workplace, it will take you an hour. Now you have faster car, it will take you 5 minutes. Okay, then I feel that humans decided, okay, I can't build a faster car for you. It's too hard. Why not I go the other way around? I build robots that can do your work so that you don't have to even travel anymore. You don't even have to work. I build a software that could do your stuffs.
Mm.
So I feel that software is this amazing hack that it is not going to make us more capable in real world, but it will give us a lot of time by making all the things we initially have to do to be done by software.
You mean
So
like
we become
things
very
like
rich.
things like communication, digitalization, this kind of stuff?
Yeah, exactly. For example, last time you probably have to write a letter, mail it by hand. Now we could text people, and eventually all those things. Like for example, let's say I need to wash the dishes, but I have a machines that could do the work for me. It's a software doing the work, and I need to sweep floor. Now I don't have to do it. So now I free up all my time. I suddenly become very wealthy because of that. Initially, I crave for no, the reason people crave for faster car or better things, right, is because they
wanna
want
save time.
something more. But now, if I don't have to do anything, I'm actually fucking rich already. I don't even have to. I'm completely a free person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that is the power of software. But at the same time, I also feel that I'm very
But
worried about.
that's why it's called information like revolution, isn't it? Like we have industrial
Yeah.
revolution, the electrical. Basically, you just try to electrify anything that you could possibly electrify.
Wait.
And
Electrify and digitalize are two different things, in my opinion.
no, I'm saying the industrial revolution, right? Like you have the machine. Yeah, you just try to make everything that is machinable, like just make it into machine. Because you already have this like steam engine, right? That is the main driver. And just use the steam engine to do anything like transportation, whatever imaginable thing that could be used with steam engine, just use it. When in the advent of the information technology, whatever you can do with that, you just like utilize the internet or maybe the computer to do it.
Okay, that is something I am not so comfortable about. Like,
Yeah.
because people always talk about digitalizing, information revolution. How far could this go? Because at the end of the day, we still live in the real world. We still need. Okay, why do I talk about cycle friendly or
I'm saying it's like not saying like it replace it, but I just like I guess I'm just like trying to see like I guess it's a human tendency where humans just tend to use it when they find it so useful. They just try to digitalize everything that is. I mean that could be possibly be digitalized. Of course, there are a lot of things that cannot be digitalized. Like, I mean,
no, cannot or whether we don't know yet, but we are not sure.
I mean, for example, let's say traveling, like you wouldn't want to digitalize traveling, right? You want the real experience, you want to feel the place. Like those things will not be digitalized, but part of the process, buying ticket, ordering food, those things can be digitalized. We'll try to digitalize.
Okay, that is my biggest worry. I feel that you actually made a very, very strong argument that basically everything that could be digitalized has already been digitalized.
I mean, I just think that the thing is, what I want to say is like, once the human get like this thing, like certain like concept that they find it to be super useful, they just use it on everything that they could find. That could, I mean, how to say, whatever things that they could do, they just do it with that. And now we are on this information technology, and we just try to put everything on the internet, whatever things that could be possibly on
Yeah,
to connect it.
exactly. Okay, so actually I am very, I don't mind people doing that. In fact, I feel that there are still some softwares to be created. Just
Definitely.
the problem is if everyone rushes there, I am not sure how many would end up with nothing. How many would end up with
And
nothing?
okay, what do you mean by
Because the picture I picture is that the gold mine is like just exhausting. Uh, and in fact, I'm actually quite optimistic. I feel that there are other gold mines elsewhere. But when you have 1 million people rushing to one particular gold mine that has already existed for so long, I'm afraid that many of 90% of the million people who rush there would end up with nothing.
Well, I think there are so many. I mean, I guess there are still many things that we need improvement, I guess. Like as long as you work on things that have not been solved, that those are the gold mine that is ready to be exploited.
No, wait. Are you trying to say is there are still a number of things to be solved inside information technology? Are you trying to say that?
I mean, it could be like on like, I mean, there are things that like intersect a lot with information technology, or maybe with computer, of course, like biology, finding new drugs, like this kind of thing, like the AlphaFold. That's incredible. Like able to like predict the folding of the protein. Those are intersection that if you go on tangent, you could.
Okay. I'm quite receptive of the idea of venturing outside. So that means you try to combine computing with more unpopular area. Okay. What I'm just very worried is just the people who tell you there's another app, just another very consumer app, those kind of stuff, those kind of things,
I think for that to assess whether how much potential it has is like, I mean, my heuristic is just by looking at it like to see if it does provide any significant values. Like if someone is suggesting to create, I don't know, like recently what was that? I don't know, like maybe an app that is, let's say they say platform for taxi, something like that. I don't know. That is definitely gonna be a failure because because you have a worthy competitor, so you're not going to succeed for sure.
But actually, because you mentioned pinpoint a lot, right? If you could figure out some pinpoint of, because at the end of the day, right, I feel that business is about amassing cult following. You have users that tremendously love you, even just a small amount at the beginning, like 10,000 people.
But I think yeah, but also not just, I think cult maybe doesn't do the justice, is the right phrase. But yeah, I mean, you have to objectively, do something helpful. It's not just like
I remove the word cult. I mean like very strong love towards the product. Very strong love towards the product.
I see. Because for me, cult is more like the MLM. Like
no, for example,
they don't have substance.
Apple fans, they are a bit cult like Apple fans.
I see. I'm a Apple fan, I guess.
Okay. Because you mentioned a lot about pinpoint, right? I feel that you're right. If you start another taxi app, probably it's very difficult because you have a giant to go against. But maybe if there's some fundamental problem, like for example, Grab, right, made some kind of drivers very unhappy, but you could solve that problem, then that might be a bit different. And we must be mindful that at the end of the day, we don't necessarily want to be a billionaire or what. If we could solve a feature that Grab lacks, maybe Grab will acquire you. That is more than enough. Okay.
Yep. Exactly.
Because there's an example. LinkedIn is an example. Because when LinkedIn was started, right, a lot of people questioned Reid Hoffman, saying that, oh my God, it's another social network. It's so lame. And Reid Hoffman said that he just ignored those people because he know what secret weapon he had.
Mm.
Yeah, he said that he understands what the recruiters network need. So it's got to build a very specialized social network that is very different. Even though
Mm.
from outset, it's just again another social network. Considering
Yeah.
that back then you have many things like Facebook, MySpace, Twitter, those
Yeah.
kind of things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But generally, I'm receptive to the idea of combining computing to other areas. I am just very
Yeah.
afraid of this because it's a tendency of catching the last wave. Catching the last wave. Like you see what is hot, you do the same thing. Yeah.
I guess I believe we do have some intuition, whether, you know, I mean, what is a good idea, what's not a good idea, I guess. It's like we do have that intuition. Like if we present a certain idea, we could probably see whether it's a good idea or not a good idea. I don't know how
No,
you
no.
feel about it.
Okay. What I don't like is that when you think of ideas, I would prefer a person to start from a blank state. For example, you today imagine you have unlimited resource. What would you build? And if you ask that question genuinely and you think genuinely, you start to put in things like nuclear reactors, supersonic plane. Then only you try to negotiate with the reality. What I don't like is what I feel is a lot of people in 42 that I talk to, they have this dogmatic starting point is that it must be a software. And in fact, some of them very narrow, it must be some kind of consumer app. Then only they start to reason, okay, what is the idea within that small circle? I think that's a very dangerous way of thinking.
I mean, their starting point is very small, is it? Limited
No,
by the
it's a tendency because we look at what make money in the last 5 to 10 years, you try to copy that. It's in our subconscious. We're going to copy and follow the easy thing because thinking originally is very hard.
yeah. I would like to tell you what is the idea too, but I don't have much inspiration.
No, no. At least we have to be very cautious whether we are talking about software because it's a good idea or because it is easy to be done. It's easier to be done.
Yep.
I think when we do something that's easy to be done, at the beginning it seems great, but at the same time you just have enormous copycat. Yeah. We will resume is any 1 minute.
All right. Let's reconnect.